There's 10 operators on your screen. We'll wait to see if that means the game is starting or not.
Good start. Looks like they've loaded, I think.
I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I don't think they've changed up the attacking operators or the defending operators from the look of it.
No,
we
they
are
don't
seeing
have to, and they have no reason to. They're still picking the same server control room. Well within their rights. Can we get past the loading phase this time?
Yeah, it'll be good to see. I think both these are solid lineups from both the attackers and the defenders. I mean, a Twitch versus a Thatcher, it's kind of either way. It's a little riskier taking a Twitch to try and take out the battery versus a Thatcher. A Thatcher's going to be pretty reliable unless they're bandit tricking it, but hey, if you got that drone control.
Alright, Strictly Business begin their defensive setup. Nova locking up these back windows as expected, making sure whoever it is that plays behind these desks is safe from the red brick roof, at least for a little while. Forces actually use their charges there, perhaps instead of being able to make holes in the floor underneath Bandit. That's a choice she has to now decide upon. Something else we rarely see here on console is people using grenades vertically. Don't use them from underneath to blow things up in the roof. It's occasional but rare. But if they don't want to do it, then they have to use Ash on this side instead.
Well, they do have
they also have a sledge that can just rappel up to those windows and do it. They do need to make sure they clear red brick building from that first, though. And Ava has been known to be a very, very mobile Jaeger. So if they don't do that properly, it could punish them for that.
Yeah, that would definitely be good on his part, especially since that's going to be something that's going to help them a lot, is getting those windows open, putting a lot of pressure on. Stopping that would definitely be a very strong defense. Good point.
Perseus then playing downstairs here in this corridor. Instead of up there, he pre-places batteries, so he doesn't need to sit up there for it. He's just in a mobile spot, looking for any aggressive pushing the backside, or at least the drones that are coming this way.
Already.
Yep. Throwing a camera outside a little bit late means Twitch can get a nice quick kill. So you went down into the garage to try and get an angle on that. And well, low. He does it as a joke and screwed it up. Low gets the kill he needs to start it off. Perseus on the stairwell now. That was where Aku was going to sit. That's where you sit it with a shotgun, but she can't do it anymore. That's his now job. MP7 still pretty good in that kind of small space, though, thanks to his very fast fire rate and decent hip fire accuracy, especially with that laser attached. So we'll see if he can still do the job it needs. Nova puts a shield down to cover himself, but the wall to his right has been blown open. Ava being fired at from across the roof now, keeping him pinned into connector, and now two members rappelling up onto the windows right behind Nova. He gets tucked into one corner where he doesn't realize he's not safe, as the next window is also occupied by an Ash. Sledge will be taken out, but there's a good move from Perseus to even out the numbers, peek from the roof, peek from the bridge, and kill off everyone rappelling. Low inside by the thermite wall. Thermite right up on the roof, but Capital on red brick is being fired at from inside. Now Perseus going to come up behind him while he's on the reload. Really nice play from Strictly Business. Perseus does try and peek out a little bit too aggressively, but in doing so, it allows the push from inside from Ava, and a great trade back the other way. Easily is now the only man standing outside on the bricks. And Silent Rage is watching the side angle in. They're going to stay now passive. Ava just stays behind the bomb. He knows Easy's got to come in. He knows he's got to plant. He knows they're coming his way, and well, he's got Rook watching his right-hand side. All he has to do is sit here and wait for the plant noise. Easily heads on up over the top.
He does
for a different route. Yeah, he has the time. He has this Claymore watching this angle. Now Rook is at the back of B, has seen him, and will fire off and call out the shots from this end. Those shots are not going to land anywhere near Rook. He's just waiting that this window closes well. He peeks out the front in case he come back towards the L. Shots rattle off as he peeks around the edge again. Just missing more shots around the top of their head. In through the window he comes. Jaeger actually drops through the trapdoor below. Might have been a small mistake. Now that's given up access of this A site too easily. He's going to try and come into connector. Gets around behind Rook. Didn't realize this. That fall through the hole really screwed them up. Aver giving up control of the A site. Lets Easily in. He's going to try and plant to the back of the site. He only has 18 seconds. It is a real plant. He's going to hold it. Aver dances across the gap. Realizes he's safe. Easily cancels it though as he dances across. Comes on in. Aver loses the Firefly, and Easily with a very nice clutch in a 2v1 situation. In the last couple of shots, darts it back and forth, and a good flick back to the right-hand side. Even with the quick crouch from Aver, he was down at the right height and managed to get that shot count.
As you said, that drop cost them that. I mean, obviously Rook should have been paying better attention. Like, that's kind of given as well. But giving up control of that site in a 2v1 situation where you've got to control two bomb sites definitely did not help. However, got to give a lot of credit to Perseus there. He lost his life, but took 3 with him for it. So that was the MVP of that round, but They just could not hold on to that lead that they got from that. Too many other people getting massacred, especially from the windows. You saw them castle those windows, and what the benefit of that would be, but once those got opened up, they stood too close to them. They took way too much fire from them, and letting that box get open without it, much of a fight really on their side. Of course, Valkyrie getting killed early didn't help. They started with one man down, so not the ideal situation for them. Hopefully they can come back on this attack.
No. Ultimately, a very poorly played 2v1 from Strictly Business. A lot of running around, not a lot of tracking movement here for the way Thermite was playing. Allowed him to get inside. And he very well played that as a 2v1.
5 seconds left.
And that's what you got to do in 2v1 is you got to like try and play a little bit of mind games, but he did get lucky ultimately.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and
Aver
defuse it.
spawning out on the sailboats, now making his way up towards red. They have had a couple of drones in this spot, and what they should have seen is that Bosco is on this building somewhere. They have to drone him and find him, or they just have to leave him be here.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be droning it this late to find him down there. I think he's probably good as long as he times his push up good.
Leaving him be here could be catastrophic for the attacking team. Aver is in that building right up and above him. He's also got Perseus's Capitao here with him. Comes around the corner and melees a couple of times instead of leaning before pushing on forwards.
He's feeling a little bad about that last round.
Cautious and checking for cameras around him, checking for any kind of imaging, looking his way. Perseus is still across the bridge, but ultimately they don't seem to realize Bosco's over here, and they're letting him be. If he times his push back across safely here, he's going to have a great time mopping up kills. Marco Polo coming in through the garage is going to put a claymore down here for anyone to peek underneath. That's going to allow them to rappel up onto these west windows safely.
As long as they control that sky bridge.
Bosco's in here. There is a man on the roof up and above his head. It is a sledge on the drone, so yeah, I don't know who it is, but either way, Bosco is finally making a move. If he cracks open these windows, he'll see people rappelling on those west windows. There's no one there yet, but that...
yeah, that's where you need those Valk cams to really determine when's the right time. But that's nice that that window is already pre-opened.
Pre-opened it. He's going to go out and find Silent Rage, and that's a nice kill onto Blackbeard. Very nicely done. Punishing them for not checking properly. Marco Polo does get a kill onto Riddle, who tries to peek out the wall he freshly thermited. He's cautious of what's below him. Perseus is now on the stairwell looking for this Jaeger to peek on up. So he needs to be very careful to stay alive a little bit longer. But with a minute 10 on the clock, having Perseus locked in that building just to keep an eye on Jay is very nice for the defending team.
Yeah, they should probably go for a server push or just get inside at this point so they don't have to worry about the peaks from the red side.
Aver underneath the thermite hole is going to continue droning, realizing it's in a bad spot. Doesn't have the time for it. Looks to head back across the bridge. Bosco is now being hunted. They are spending this time now to drone for him, look for him. They're bringing Ash back this way. Perseus is still on the stairs. Marco Polo is still on the roof above. And well, they droned him and spotted him. Spraying down through now, spraying down a couple more angles. Perseus has gone across. Ash sitting here back across the mall. They realize they can't deal with him. And Bosco now has 30 seconds of perfect time to come back across and find them. Perseus with the diffuser is outside the thermite hole. He's looking to go on in. First man in his thermite, he's going to attract attention and take the first few shots. Now he's in there without trying to plant. He's going to get taken out from the back of the desks. And suddenly it's all going great for the defending Onslaught squad. Aver, the last man standing, as Frost gets the kill onto Nova. He pushes up. He's through the corridor, straight into Frost's space. Does get the kill on an unscope. Looks for one more. Downs one. Downs a second. Looks for the flip across, but one of them was Doc. And, well, it came close to the wire there for Aver, but he was never going to kill that Jaeger no matter what he did to those three armor operators. And Onslaught hold themselves around thanks to a beautifully placed Jaeger roam.
Aver almost made up for the last round with that just last-minute crazed attempt. But Blitzkrieg or not, Bosco really sealed the deal that round, killing that Blackbeard and just burning up all their time. I think when a situation like that happens, right, where you know you've got a roamer on the other side and you've got to deal with it, you have to have a plan for attacking server instead, for taking advantage to swing around, because when you're on the server side, you're not exposed to his shots from the other side. Either that or you need to push from the inside up. Either way is a little bit dangerous, but without that backup plan, you see them just standing outside in a position where they've got to have someone watching their back, and doing so cost them like a good minute of time.
So Onslaught won their first attack round up here, thanks to Easily with a very well executed 2v1 against Jaeger and Rook. Don't think he'll get the same chance to do it again, but we'll find out. Strictly Business though, having done this defense once, having it largely broken open once, have to be careful for any kind of adapting that Onslaught do.
Yeah, hopefully they don't have Valkyrie run out into the basement this time. And then stay a little tighter, be able to hold that stairs angle that we see from Valkyrie so often. And then Perseus can go do something else, although last time he certainly did something else indeed.
Attackers recovered the bomb
It's
diffuser.
just
Attackers'
running around
objective is to
downstairs.
locate a
Marco
bomb and
Polo
defuse it.
last time died out very early on, trying to aggressively throw cameras out of beat.
They are important, though, on this map.
Goes a little bit safer.
There we go.
Prunes under the window to throw them out towards the parking lot. Manages to stay alive and now play down here by model and stairs like he meant to beforehand.
There we go.
Nova at the back of the desks behind his shield this time, rather than right up front, does replace it to give himself a better angle through the gap. Perseus still playing around by kitchen where he wanted to originally. Aver in the connector. Again, he was shot at from across the roof last time over. And Silent Rage is just checking the camera to give eyes on Riddle coming up the staircase. Riddle is watching this camera to give Perseus the information he needs. Riddle is watching the window, which is where Perseus would like to stick his head out. But he can't do it until Riddle takes his eyes off of the window itself.
They definitely got to watch out for the window attack that they saw last time, but it doesn't necessarily look like they're trying to go for the same one. I think they're a little more worried about what Perseus did to them last time, pushing out, killing 2 of them, repelling.
So, still sitting in the same spot. He's been droned, he's got nowhere to go.
Everyone just trying to feel each other out at this point, but almost a minute 30 burned already.
Still on the lower staircase is Marco Polo. Perseus still hasn't had to move. Nova's at the back side of the site, also unmoved. Aver's still in connector, unmoved. Silent Rage is looking across to the other site from inside B, and they have opened up the thermite wall. Aver can peek out when he's ready to stop the planter, but he needs to be cautious of what's on the other roof at the same time. Marco Polo looking to move up now. Nova in the connector again has had to fall back and hide a little way. Perseus spraying open the metal door, is being droned out by Riddle again. But ultimately no real movement by either squad. Strictly Business staying very passive. Onslaught looking for someone to stick their head out and get that early peek, but they aren't doing it. They aren't giving it to them. And with 57 seconds on the clock, it's time for Onslaught to make a move. Silent Rage is the first man with the kill in this round. Takes out Riddle, trying to come up through the car park, trying to go back to support his team. And he makes it count. Aver then peeks out from connector, does take down easily as he's trying to come into plant. Low is out on the bricks and has tagged Aver, but can't kill him. Marco Polo peeking out through the gap from the upper staircase. Goes downstairs, Bosco is pushing onto Perseus, but right round behind him is Marco Polo. Kills him off before he finishes off the downed bandit. Aver inside the site, knows Low is close by to his right. Animals picked up the diffuser. Low has got to cover it. Very close, Capitaz inside the site. Aver peeks out to try and spray towards him. Animal does get the down on, but then it's finished off inside from quite a distance at the back of the desk. And it's an easy kill for Nova to get the second one and finish Low off. And Strictly Business hold much better that time.
That was textbook what they should have done the first time. They held super tight, burned off a minute, like a minute and a half of their time, just them trying to figure out where everyone was out. But by the time they got inside, they were already ready to just leap out and attack them. You saw them make their moves whenever they needed to. Yeah, a couple of them got downed, but just sitting tight, making them come into them. Much, much better. That was a very solid defense. I'm almost surprised any of Strictly Business got downed, just because it was like exactly how you need to play it.
Kitchen projector room then, the second site for Onslaught. A bit more predictable, a bit more expected, and well, Strictly Business knew it was coming as well. And to be fair, even if they did go to the Red Brick building, for whatever reason, the buck pick would be great there too. Bottom up, shotgun damage is great, grenades up is great, but now as it is, they're going to take control of this top floor, they can take control of B, decimate the floor using Buck's shotgun, and have control of that kitchen plant spot. So we'll see how well Onslaught hold.
Brought up Blackbeard this time. We hadn't seen the Blackbeard just yet.
True.
So definitely changing up the strategy. It's nice to see they have a different strategy for the different bomb spot. We also see Doc coming out from the defenders, which is different as well as Pulse. So both teams playing it very differently in terms of operator picks, tailoring exactly what they're doing to the site, which is what you should be doing as a professional player. Maybe even changing up their weapon picks. Should be good. A lot of barbed wire on that door. They definitely don't want people pushing in there. Same with the door to kitchen, although sometimes I like when there's a bit more barbed wire in the hallway as well, just to really slow any kind of quick attempt to push it from there, but
so,
nice place.
Camera thrown out of that model window by Riddle. The windows to west wall are already cracked right open and pulled down as well. There's one more camera inside model to help out a little bit more. and look at what's coming his way. Catches the drone, does catch sight of Nova and a few people running across the car park as well now. Opens up that door to give another peek spot if he wants it. Bosco still doing a couple of reinforcements inside the site, this time playing closer with his team and playing closer to the site, because being in that red brick building would not be beneficial to defending here, but he can hold this top floor with Animal and Valkyrie close by.
Definitely a situation where you got to decide 2 or 3 people up top, but you got to have at least 2 to be able to hold this site. Especially with that buck in there, that's going to be a big issue if they let them get control of that top floor.
And I'm using a very nice angle here looking for Perseus. He'll be the first man into that room. Blackbeard rappelling up to the thermite wall to get a sight line onto it, and well, Marco Polo is going to come and use his thermite charge to blow it open. Puts a claymore on the door to make sure he's safe. And now starts to plant the charge, but Animal will back away and get away from it safely. Bosco repositions around to connect it. He's got the better sight and the better gun to fire out through that hole. Think otherwise about it. Just make the hole into that connecting wall instead.
I think the big problem with this bomb site is you've got to defend against an attack upstairs that normally takes a good 3 or 4 man defense and have people play on site.
Then down below in model, Animal spotted him, Perseus down there with him. Obviously he doesn't know the operators, but he can see those 2 heartbeats. He's got an eye on them, he's thinking about going to kill one, but sees the other one watching over him. Now the move starts to come in, catching Marco Polo now here too, as the push is getting aggressive. Ava is inside the site, and he does get the down onto Doc inside, but while trying to finish him off, he gets picked off by Easily from the other angle. Jaeger's dropped down to help one out. The site is now split in 2. Riddle's down and using that shotgun in towards the holding cells. Staircase upstairs goes Paul. Riddle checking his camera to look what's waiting for him outside in model, and he's going to go for the flank. Perseus is just coming back this way, and it's a good kill. Blackbeard went up onto the roof, and the diffuser is down. Blackbeard is up on the roof. Buck is downstairs underneath, trying to make holes from the garage, and the Strictly Business attack just got picked apart thanks to a good flank from that Valkyrie and good drops from Jaeger above. Inside the window though goes Nova as he's exposed a beautiful shot onto that Rook in kitchen. Silent Rage now looking behind, has found the Valkyrie and does get the kill on it. The revive is going to come onto Rook in the kitchen, but now both members of Onslaught are up the far end of the bomb site defending at range. Nova's going to go for the plant. Silent Rage peeks around the corner and does take a lot of damage, but deals more to Easily. Easily gets the break on the shield, but then gets the kill, or gets killed before Silent Rage gets down by Bosco. Nova now looking for the revive if he can get far enough in. Has got the plant down. They're looking to get in behind that reinforced wall. He's watching eyes on the diffuser though. Looks up at the wrong second. Bosco just had to stay ADS a little bit longer. Can't make it count. Strictly Business draw it out. 2 rounds to 2.
That was a nice recovery by Strictly Business, going into a bad situation, but managing to take advantage of the fact that enough of the defenders have been picked off and pushed to the other side of that into the kitchen. Getting it, although swinging in and getting that shot as Buck there, that was probably the saving grace, because otherwise they might not have made any progress in there. So well played. I think part of their mistake was pushing both sides at once, pushing the top and the middle, and in doing so they lost a lot of people in that middle fight. Yeah, they did a lot of damage, but then they weren't able to use their full force up top, take control, and then move down. But still, ultimately they won just barely, and I guess that's what matters. Fortunately, Silent Rage not winning this time.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So, the scoreline will stand 2 rounds to 2. At least it's nice and even. We'll run to another break. We'll get the players back in the lobby. We'll see you in a couple of minutes' time. Welcome back. Still one player left to come back in from Strictly Business, but the others are in and they should be here pretty quickly and pretty smoothly. Then we continue. It's 2 rounds to 2 currently on Kanal. Bomb sites are completely open, if memory serves, for both squads, but it will be an Onslaught attack. Now, they got it for the first round, more by luck than judgment, but a very well played 2v1 by easily to make that happen. They then had a strong defense for their second round, but Strictly Business got their number, attacked the kitchen bomb site very well afterwards, and then successfully defended the top floor after a very disciplined, solid defense round themselves. First one they lost because of that aggressive kill and the early peek onto Valkyrie. She was throwing out the camera, got killed off. Didn't happen this time. They stayed firm. Very well executed defense. But as each team have figured each other out, if each team has feeled each other out a little bit more, we'll see whether or not that's going to continue.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've seen a lot of back and forth play, a lot of mistakes, a lot of not necessarily the best shots and stuff like that. I think the best play I've seen so far was that second time attempt by Strictly Business. That was the more disciplined, more overpowered defense that we've seen. The attacks have always been just very kind of haphazard, you know, getting lucky, getting some of those kills, getting people taken out early off of mistakes. Now is the time they've had this enough break time here between to really think about, okay, what have we done well, what have we not done well, how can we lock this out now that we've got an idea how both teams are playing both bomb sites. But the question is, are they going to have the discipline to do it? So hopefully we will see.
He's back in. Let's get the game loaded back up and back on your screens in just a second. It is Onslaught on attack, Strictly Business on defense. Let's find out where it is they're going to go, what it is they're going to defend, and how they're going to do it. So, up onto, I believe it's going to be the kitchen projector room for Strictly Business, yep. And well, they're bringing in that Doc Rook combo again. We've seen this from a few teams. You play those 3 players on the top floor, Frost, Jaeger, and Mute, and then you run Doc Rook as the solid, heavy, immovable objects on the floor below. And with all the health, with all the sustain, with all the safe that they are down there, they can sit and hold their own just long enough for the guys upstairs to rotate down if they get rushed, and if they don't, well, the guys upstairs are holding their site nicely anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a good combo. I mean, the Doc Rook combo is good on a lot of sites. Any site where you're going to play 3 roam or 3 off-site, definitely the guys you want to have watching your back on that site. It's a little bit harder because, you know, there's a lot of entry points, as we saw from Strictly Business's attack. There are ways to attack that without having to necessarily take the top floor. But it doesn't look like the attackers are adjusting at all for this bomb spot. We saw the Strictly Business adjust their attack operator loadout, but not so much from Onslaught. However, they obviously have some faith in that attack strat that they had for the top floor pretty much, because they are going to attack the top floor first. So it's, I guess, not a big surprise that they're going to bring a lot of the same operators. But they're going to have a much easier time. There's not going to be castled windows they have to worry about. They're not going to be bandit juggling going on, things like that. Should have a much easier time getting in. So the question is, are the roamers up there going to be able to do much about it? Are those frost traps going to do anything? Are the mute jammers going to actually stop the drones from coming in? Things like that. I do hope that at least one mute jammer is used to hold the box a little bit, force them to use the Twitch drone, which you could potentially shoot, just delay them as much as possible. But it doesn't look like they want to play Rook, or I mean the Doc potentially upstairs.
Doc's playing upstairs. Jaeger staying down for at least a little while.
Maybe just late setup.
Maybe. Frost is staying upstairs and putting in a trap downs there too.
This is not a surprise. We've seen a lot of traps on those windows, so they're going to be expecting as well if they know that they play this Frost.
Percy is staying in the same spot he played Bandit then from the first round, but now of course defending a different side for it. So they are just going with the 2 men upstairs. They're going with Marco Polo and they're going with Nova, so Doc and Mute. Interesting.
Yeah, probably not ideal.
They've gone reinforce heavy, I believe. Okay, so leaving one of these open is known, right? You normally leave this one open though because it gives the worst line of sight to the floor below, but it does still let you rotate down as a defender. This one, however, gives a lot of control to the attackers if you lose control of it when dropping down through. So you want to make them work for it a little bit more, make them use up a thermite charge.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And with 2 roamers upstairs, setting up an escape hatch is less of a good idea, because if one of them leaves, you're left with one person upstairs as opposed to 2. A lot riskier of a defense. Obviously, the mute jammer's doing some work, though. Trying to keep Capto's drone out of there. He's going to be working a little bit harder to try and get in there.
Yeah, it does slow down the attack on the top floor. It does make it riskier for them to go in. They don't know how many people are there. They don't know how many people are waiting for them because they can't get their drones inside so well.
They did get one, though.
They did get one in because they thermited open the box and, well, easily is starting to scout around inside and find out all that. Yeah, it's got eyes on Nova just inside behind that cabinet. Bosco inside below, low on the roof on the other side, and Riddle repelling right next to the window. Nova stands on up and is immediately headshot by Riddle. It's a beautiful shot, but They have used up 1 minute and 45 seconds to get this far. Ava still downstairs looking for drones. Marco Polo now alone upstairs is cautious and hiding from this Capital that was out there on the L window. He's got his eyes around the corner.
That drone's going to catch him now.
Drone does find him from behind, and right behind that drone is Riddle. He's got to be cautious if the connector's going to C4 out that way. Riddle hears it, turns to run. Capital keeping an eye through the gap, and Marco Polo will drop down through that trapdoor. So he gets out alive, but with 50 seconds on the clock, that trapdoor open. A lot of B control. Animal comes in straight onto a frost trap. That's going to slow down the attack a little bit more. And they're still cautious here about someone pushing up to get in. They don't want to go with the instant revive. And here it comes. Perseus is trying that push up. And he's missing a lot of shots and taking a lot of damage from low. Doesn't damage Riddle off. And to be fair, it's an aggressive play that I don't think was needed at all from Perseus. All he had to do was let it waste their time. Let them waste their time on the defense. They're down to 20 seconds now, and they could have had an extra man down here watching their drop. Suddenly, 5 members can drop through. Doesn't matter if they're only on 20 seconds, they can just storm the site. And while Ava does get 1 kill and down another player, there's 5 players there to trade him out, and Onslaught go up 3 rounds to 2.
That was definitely the opposite of the defense we saw from Strictly Business upstairs. Just not like a lot of solid defense to it. Once they were in, they were in. And they just took control of it. They gave up control, Mute dropping down, not able to do a lot from there. Just not great angles of defense, especially with that trapdoor there. You saw him drop down into kitchen and just walk right up to Marco Polo. It was a situation that I believe he helped create himself there. It just did not work out in his favor. So hopefully they don't try that particular hold again, as that was not the best setup. We are seeing a frost upstairs now.
There's a whole lot of not moving going on there. I'm scared. Riddle
Yeah.
is alive. Animal appears to be alive.
There we go. Close call. They are going to be a little bit later on the setup, though, but they are getting set up now, so that's good. Animal not having to, rush super to get those traps set up. You get a little bit extra time, but still definitely want to make sure you do it so you can get in position after. They are bringing Rook and Doc upstairs, so they definitely have changed their upstairs defense a little bit in terms of what they want to play, hoping to maybe kind of trip up the attackers just a little. Hopefully Low will be playing kind of the monitors area. Doc, I think, is one of those operators that's great for playing those monitors because he can revive himself behind them sometimes if he's able to survive over in that spot or over in the corner.
Oscar back at it again, hiding in the red brick building.
I don't think they knew where exactly he hid last time, so that's not going to give them, they're not going to drone this specific spot to start with. That is going to help him. I just hope that they're a little more cautious last time. They burnt up so much time trying to find him.
This time, well, last time they didn't find him at all. They wasted after he killed a man, but they didn't find him in the first place, and it looks to be a similar access now.
Yeah.
Overdroning through, Silent Rage coming up the backside and taking out cameras before he repels. Perseus is watching the window this time, but we'll see how long it is he waits there.
Yeah, that's still going to burn up Perseus's time either way. I mean, usually if you know Roamer's there, you know someone's in brick, you all work together to push, kill him, and get on with it.
Fred is still on the other roof now, cracking a couple of holes open. Silent Rage still droning through and checking these other spots, and they are using a lot of their time on this drone. But it's only one of their 3 minutes, as Ava then follows Perseus in. Holes in the floor, sight lines are there. He's got these ash charges to make a few more as well himself.
Yeah, if you could tell where they're standing right above there, he'd be able to ash charge the floor and do some damage, but...
Silent Rage just drone in and get some idea of it. Ava's cautious of the back of the connector spot, that's what it is. Over pushes into kitchen.
Ooh.
He's finished off by Animal, but Animal gets the reload on and picks up a kill onto Ava.
My goodness.
Very aggressive play from Onslaught, and it's paying off. Remember, if they win this, they're on map point already. It's 4 rounds to 3 if they get it. And Animal just made it far more likely to them. Now heading his way downstairs, but Marco Polo will finally get a kill to trade it back. Perseus looking through this connector. Sees that man just on the corner. Marco Polo heading back on and across, and they haven't even got this thermo wall open yet with a minute to go. Starts to make it work, starts to crack it open. Riddle does have to turn away and hide, but it means he's safe from this window, thanks to the roof being cleared.
It's a good thing he got up his cameras just in time to hear that.
Silent Rage picks up 1 kill, does duck away as Perseus shoots him in the back from the other side of server. Jesse tries to push onto Marco Polo. Still a 3 versus 2 though. Back of the site, there is 1 man prone with an MP5. Downstairs, Perseus is still sitting under model. He's looking to go over the other side. If he gets there fast enough, he may still be able to get Marco Polo, but he's too late. He's inside the corridor. Perseus is outside. Looks like they're looking for a possible B, but the smoke is going to screw Perseus up a little way. Has to come around the other side. 25 seconds, he's still going to go down for the diffuser. Marco Polo comes inside now. The MP5 will rattle off a couple of missed shots. It's Doc at the back of the desk. Marco Polo tags him up but can't finish him off. He can now hide and perhaps heal himself. He's got the time. The diffuser's in Perseus' hands and he's got to come in towards B. He doesn't have time to go anywhere else and it's an easy kill from Easily to find it before Low will pistol Marco Polo off inside A and Onslaught are on to map point 4 rounds to 3.
And that's exactly why I was saying you want Doc behind those monitors right there.
Oh, went for the knife. Screwed it up.
So, I mean, that went a little back and forth. Like, there was a chance Strictly Business could have pulled that off. They had some pretty good push there, especially killing Valkyrie, stopping that push out onto Marco Polo, helped save potentially the round for them. But ultimately, they just couldn't secure off either side of the map. They couldn't get Doc out. They couldn't get the one out in servers. Not having control of either side of it just made it so that they were just going to be fighting 2 1v1s in situations where they don't have the advantage. And we saw what happened. I mean, getting Doc down was great. Had that not been Doc, probably would have been a kill or at least a permanent down. But just did not work out. Hopefully Strictly Business, learning from the previous round when they held a very solid defense here, can play it a little bit better this time and not get taken out here because, like you said, they're on match point now. This is a situation where they're going to lose the entire map if they can't win this round.
So, top floor bomb site from Strictly Business. They have won this recently. They held tight, they held firm, and they locked it in. Can they do it again, or did Onslaught figure out what it was they did? Do they have their number?
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, the struggle is for them. If they win this, they're still going to be on match point, and they're going to attack, and then luckily for them, they get to go onto overtime if they win the round after that, because it becomes 4-4, and then they're not stuck going to that bottom bomb site, or the below bomb site. So good timing, I guess, in this case, if they can win 2 rounds in a row now.
Still a little bit of a late peek here and there from Marco Polo, but he's getting at a couple of cameras, still has 2 held on. Turned through the model, does finish it off.
Hopefully doesn't try and throw out a camera late again. He's looking like he, that was risky, but I guess less risky than maybe some of the other moves he's made. Being smart about it again this time.
Yeah, Ferns underneath to make sure Perseus is still on the lower staircase. He's still up and above it.
Definitely got to play cautious this time. They're not playing anyone over in red brick, though. That's not something they've been doing, unlike Onslaught, which it is paid off most of the time for Onslaught, so something worth considering. But if they can hold a solid defense like they did last time here, then the extra manpower can come into factor.
Marco tries to make a preemptive hold, catch them by surprise as they're going in there. Didn't happen. Baited some shots from the other roof, though.
They're definitely worried about someone pushing from there, and they are right to be worried with Bosco down there.
Thermite charge goes off on the box. Over in connector, Ava checking on the cameras, looking where Animal is, keeping an eye on him. Should have killed this ages ago. They have a Twitch drone, it should have been dead in the prep phase. And the fact that Ava is still just sitting here, just waiting and feeding information on Animal is disgusting, to be honest.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to do something about it. It's a hard angle to push him on. They just know he's there, just leave him be, I guess.
Turns on through. You can see that everyone inside more or less is still sitting on their cameras, is still just looking at what's waiting and coming their way. Easily still drones the backside. Bosco coming up underneath. Perseus is the man he's going to run into on the staircase, but Perseus is ready and waiting for it. He runs on down. Bosco misses the shots. The hip fire gets the first shot, and Perseus got a good headshot. Marco Polo ran down outside as well and flanked behind Bosco, so he would have got behind him and traded even if Perseus had gone down. Nice aggressive play from the Strictly Business defense, but the plant is down. Perseus breaks out the doorway. The Claymore downs him. Low finishes him off. The planter has been finished off, but Ava has now been downed inside. Don't need to push in aggressively for that. Nova gets credited with the kill on the balcony. Low gives himself up. Does get a good reaction shot onto Silent Rage. Flicks inside to try and find Nova and can't get it. But it's now on to Animal to defend against 2. He has got asphyxiating bolts. He can fire them straight at the diffuser. Marco Polo looks to come outside and look above, and he will get down for it. Now it's Nova in a 1v1. There is another asphyxiating bolt, and it's not needed because Animal credited with a kill onto Nova, who actually walked into that for the final killing blow. Wasn't even a bullet. And Onslaught lock in map number 1, 5 rounds to 2.
I thought they were doing good on that defense there. They were playing just the way they had before in terms of holding their spots and then being aggressive when they needed to. But just running out and getting massacred on that diffuser cost them the whole map there.
Yeah, so as we are now very used to with that map done, we are going to have to obviously back away so we can get the next map up and going. We're going to run to another break while that happens. Thankfully there's no crashes, no issues this time, so they should be able to reconnect smoothly. But either way, we'll see you after another short break with the second map in this series between Strictly Business and Onslaught. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Getting the last couple of players back into the lobby for our second map of the Onslaught versus Strictly Business game. All of these points mean the world to Onslaught, who are currently up 5 rounds to 2, having won the first map with that scoreline. Looking now to go in towards Oregon as their second map. That first map, Kanal, was Strictly Business's choice. Their record on their map now 2-4. Not a good win-loss on Kanal for Strictly Business. So Onslaught now looking. No wait, Onslaught chose Kanal. Sorry, Onslaught chose Kanal and then won it 5-2. Strictly Business then choosing Oregon. We've already seen a few creative strategies on the bump side. We even saw the tower picked earlier on today. True. So we'll see whether or not that comes out of Onslaught's arsenal because they chose it. They might have something up their sleeve, or they might just be very comfortable with their play. They might be very happy with their default strategies on it, that they know they can get a solid guaranteed win on that and take now all 3 points from this series.
That makes a lot more difference at this point to Onslaught than it does to Strictly Business. I think Strictly Business are probably locked out of second place at this point, just in terms of, like, at best they can pull someone else down, but they're going to have a lot of trouble getting into second place just withdrawing this. That means 2 points that they can't get. So that's going to be a big cost for them. Onslaught, though, locking in those 3 points really help here. I mean, they don't really care about pulling Strictly Business down so much, but really keep themselves locked up at their top.
Yeah.
So they're going to be playing with a lot more, probably intensity than Strictly Business will at this point. But Strictly Business probably not wanting to give it up. They want to save some face, I imagine at least.
Yep, and here we go. Let's find out what they play like as we head into Oregon, our final map of the night.
I hope we see dorms first. I like when some teams are playing dorms first now, not necessarily just going straight down to that basement. But hey, we did see Watchtower. Anything's game today.
That's very true.
We do have the mute, no surprise, for Laundry Room down in the basement.
What we don't have for the attackers is a Thatcher to deal with it, so they might have issues breaking open that trap door if they don't know about the different spots on the wall to use.
I would hope they'd been paying enough attention at this point to catch that stuff, but you never know. Some teams do a little more research than others.
Very true.
So other than that, not a lot of surprises on either side. Good that they're bringing a Doc Rook if they want to hold solid down there. One thing we have seen, though, is some teams that just want to rush that construction side, that they don't need that Thatcher. So it's something they could be doing, but they are bringing a Blackbeard and a Capito, so that does suggest to me that they're probably considering a stairs push on the laundry side.
Let's find out. I'm sure they can switch it up too when they find out what's coming their way or what's waiting for them inside, and they'll change their mind. Upstairs, inside this bomb site for defense, we've seen a few different variations, a few different ideas. Low is in the back tower, killing off and finding a couple of drones. He can be doing the reinforcements. The question is it one, or is it two, or is he doing the kitchen wall? He's doing the kitchen wall. Looks like we are going to see someone attempt to play inside this meeting room for a little wait.
5 seconds left.
So far, no trapdoors open. Bosco's going to reinforce that one in the corridor. It's the important one. The other one should be broken open as an escape pod if they plan to play up here.
Neither of them with shotguns, though, is going to make that a little difficult.
Yeah, Valkyrie was up here, but she's changed her mind and gone down. So leaving it open, they could get broken from below. But either way, let's ride on board with Bosco, who's run off out into the showers to roam and lurk from this end.
Good hiding spot. Doc there, just barely spotting him, gives away his position way too early. Too bad.
Spotted Doc as well, to be fair.
Yeah. It's a tight situation. One of them is going to have to make a move or back off.
Should be low if they get droned properly. Perseus can sit here and his team should be closing in to help him. And there it is. Perseus has got that opportunity to dart around as Low has to edge away and move around, and Perseus gets a great headshot for the kill. But there he is, traded straight back by Bosco from the other side of the map through the window.
Well played by Bosco.
Takes him out. Very nice shot. As he now heads back towards the bomb site to join the rest of his team. Picked up the one kill onto Capitao, of all people. It's a big kill to get. And now hits into the meeting room to try and slow down this Strictly Business attack, which is coming from the back side. They are going for B, they're going for tower. Wasn't just to kill off the Doc that they know was roaming, wasn't just to kill off and cover that flanker. They are now actually pressuring the back side of this site.
Yeah, that's what you want to do if you can't take control of the other side. If you know they've got the mute jammer, you don't have a good way to deal with it. Especially if they're expecting you to push that side.
Get clear.
A couple of shots onto that player, crossing over the gap and then ducks away again. Looks to go further on upstairs now. It's cautious of the attic above him. It's still sealed. He's got eyes on that window again, but will rotate around. Silent Rage, looking to push down through red and push down the back end. There is a Valkyrie waiting for him on the inside, but she's already very low.
The thing about this push is you need to do it fast and hard a lot of times if you want this to work. And they are doing it slow and cautious, but they are doing decent at it so far.
To pre-fire a couple of angles. Upstairs, meanwhile, Thermite's blown one trapdoor. Ava's made a hole in the other, and they've got Sledge to whack away at everything else that's left. Like that. They are down to 45 seconds, and they're looking to try and figure their way in now. The diffuser dropped for someone else. Silent Rage still watching the backside, and Bosco still being mobile upstairs. Nova sees him come around the corner, but can't land their headshot. And Bosco is keeping himself as a nuisance. Nova comes on in and does get down. Bosco unsure as to have done that or not, though. He's very, very low, so repicking it himself is a risky play.
Yeah, that's one of those
going to go for the revive. Does pick him up.
Side effects of playing pro.
Over back to watching the corner. Bosco, they're watching this other side. Doc will be, Rook will be downstairs. Sledge is going to drop down. Bosco is right above him. Drops right behind him, goes for the knife and misses. Nearly screwed it right up. Does get the kill onto him, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team is slaughtered anyway. Strictly Business with a last second push in from every angle downstairs. They knew exactly where everyone Onslaught was, and they made sure to make their shots count.
Bosco really almost made that work for the defenders, but he couldn't carry it all by himself. The rest of the team was just getting slaughtered down there on site. And that's one of the strengths of the tower push, and I feel like that's why I've seen it a lot more lately, is taking control of that side of the map and pushing. But they did give Jaeger a lot of free roam in doing so, and not focusing on the rest of the map, not taking the armory side, not taking the lobby, not even necessarily having meeting hall that early. He just had free reign to just run around. But ultimately, he just couldn't win the round for his team.
Down into the basement once more, then go strictly business. It's their first attempt to try and defend here. They just attacked the backside very successfully, but
Not going with the mute though. Not
it's a
saying
rare
it's worth
attack
it.
to make. Whether or not we'll see the Onslaught attack come in that same angle, we'll have to wait and see. They brought no Blackbeard to the table themselves. They're going with a Twitch instead, so they've got that extra firepower. The F2 and the R4C are two of the best weapons in the game. See if they can make that fire rate, make that accuracy count.
Yeah, it looks like Strictly Business decided it's not worth trying to mute that hatch. It's not worth all the hassle of doing that in regards to bringing in an operator that they're just not as comfortable using outside of that.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers must locate and
So,
defuse a
attackers
bomb.
making the push in. Riddle coming from the junkyard all the way through the building with Low as a pair. They're going to be those aggressive fire teams pushing in from this side of the map, cleaning it out. The drones are leading the way for them. Bosco at the front side just misses. Marco Polo sprinting down that staircase after placing a couple of cameras. Upstairs in the back tower is still Doc with this angle onto the front edge.
Looks like they do want to push lobby and go for a traditional laundry push.
Yeah. Jaeger inside the meeting with a much tighter angle on the lobby. Now looking across towards kitchen. That's where Low's going to come. As he heads around this corner, he's got to be cautious. Jones are still scanning for him. He's still spraying open a couple of the predetermined walls and just preset spots. Nobody there though. Looks like trying to help Riddle with the camera. Riddle's already made a hole above the top of the staircase, taking it out and waiting for the all clear to peek down here.
A bomb has been
Does
located.
have a look around, but there's no one waiting too aggressively at the bottom. Low sprays towards the back tower, cautious of anyone that might be there. Just making it open, giving himself a bit of a path to rotate to if he wants to later on. Perseus now got to be cautious of that angle and that window the entire time like this. So
Yeah, that definitely is hard to do, but hey, he's playing defense. He can just keep control of it all as long as he wants.
Ava still aggressively upstairs. Marco Proto's joined him. He's going to go through in towards the kitchen with that C4. Marco still spraying through out towards the lobby. Marco rotates around towards the backside. He's going to come behind Low, who's prone in this corridor if he pushes forward aggressively. Low is unaware of what's coming his way. Sprays into the meeting room, goes in towards the... No, he doesn't go to the toilets. If he had, he might have been safe. But Marco Proto gets the free kill and then heads upstairs. This is where Riddle was, but he's now made his way down. They're heading down the front staircase. They've got a lot of roamers upstairs, strictly business, so they're going to take advantage of this and head down to the basement. Nova is inside this small stockroom looking at the bottom of the staircase. Strictly business are slaughtering upstairs and closing in on all angles. Animal is low. Easily does get one kill, but is very, very low because of it. It is 3v3, but the health is heavily in favor of strictly business, and they've still got Doc alive. Riddle is smoking down inside the site. 45 seconds, and the smoke comes out from the defenders now. Doc is still up in the backside of the meeting hall, looking towards meeting itself. Ash on the front staircase is going to get the diffuser as he's got the health to push on in. He's going to go up and onto the plant spot, begins to give it a go. Smoke is low, but the choke out is coming onto Riddle. He doesn't have the time. 7 seconds is too long to get the plant down while inside smoke. And with 20 seconds on the clock, Nova's used his last smoke charge easily as the last man standing. He does get one more kill, but with 2 to find and 2 HP to do it with, he has to spray blindly towards that corridor. Silent Rage knows he's on the staircase. Nova is right up close now, knows he's going to come for the diffuser. He's picked it up, he's going to push forward, and the kill comes out for Silent Rage to give another round in the bag for Strictly Business. A good defense.
I definitely liked that defense in terms of like the way they were playing the two roamers, just running around doing what they could do. Yeah, Jaeger in the meeting hall, keeping them busy from lobby, because that's one of the biggest problems with pushing lobby is dealing with meeting hall. And then Marco Polo rotating all the way around, taking advantage of Jaeger's distraction. That's like what good roamer play, when they take advantage of each other being a nuisance. Doc, however, a little bit late on that rotate, staying far back, probably longer than he needed to be, but you know what? The rest of his team on site actually held it well. Smoke especially. We didn't see that smoke defense from the other side because they weren't pushing the stairs. But that smoke defense is so powerful in terms of stalling them off, keeping them from pushing site. Had that not been there, I said they would have been able to take site.
Yep.
Because he wouldn't have been able to hold off like 3-4 people coming down those stairs.
We We've seen a few smoke plays on this bomb site earlier on today, and they never quite got their throws in the right place. They never quite landed their charges in the right spots to actually stop the plants going down. They never quite made that work, yet those two were perfectly placed to stop that plant going down and to delay the round as long as needed. Very well done.
If you're going to play this map, you need to practice those throws.
10 seconds
Yeah.
left.
Just like with camera throws on Kanal, for example, when we're talking about getting those cameras on the right spots outside, you need to practice those kinds of throws.
So, Onslaught going for the same defensive setup they did before, reinforcements in meeting, reinforcements to kitchen. Bosco this time around heads back towards the front staircase for a little bit more barbed wire placement, and then we'll seal the door off and head downstairs.
Looks like they're definitely going for a tower push again between all the drones and the operators approaching it now.
Or at least if they're trying to figure out if it's available or not. Once again, they haven't got any kind of Thatcher, but that's better because this time there is no... Oh, slight screw up. No mute jammer at all. Low dance across the gap, and I believe just took the beating from Pulse,
Whoops.
who was trying to make kill holes in the floor. So that overheal was first of all wasted, then is now needed, and he's not using it.
Ironic.
And yeah, Low now going to be down to just the one charge.
The attacker's
Not
bomb
ideal.
diffuser has been dropped.
Definitely better than being left at that health, though. They are making a good push, but at least the defenders have rotated a lot of resources. Having Pulse now will make it a lot easier for them to tell when that push is coming down the stairs, but doesn't mean they can do anything about it.
Bosco has made his way back upstairs. Now he's on the top floor. Looking to come down later on to be a nuisance. Make the hole in towards Attic. Oh, it's close to Perseus, but Perseus is closer to Bosco. Doesn't land the important shots though, but that time Bosco will land a lot of damage onto that Capital. Going to be happy with it and head his way down. Looking to the front end of the meeting room now. Nova is going to be there waiting for him. Ava looking to back up Perseus, who's throwing grenades around the attic now.
Not sure what that throw was supposed to
That was
accomplish.
to break the trap door at the
There
back
we go.
side of the meeting hall.
Looks like that worked out in their favor without him having to move into a position to sledge more vulnerably.
So,
They're definitely a little concerned about Bosco. They're definitely spreading out their attack now as well, something that they need to do here to kind of not deal with the roamers as much.
that's just still on the back staircase. Bosco is still cautious of them coming up and over that edge. Animal downstairs, not heartbeat centering, but keeping an eye here. Marco Polo gets down and finished off by Riddle, and Riddle doesn't take any damage in return for it. That's good, but Bosco will finally be finished off by Nova upstairs. The roamer taken out. Now Riddle's taken down by Silent Rage, and this is looking good for Strictly Business's attack again. Ava's dropped from meeting, and while the shots do miss Animal, they scare him into death. Low, though, will trade back. That low-held Doc gets the kill onto Ava in the corridor as he peeks on out. Now looks towards the back of the site. The Capital bombs are coming in and pinning a couple of people away, and there's the flank coming down. Low does go for the revive, but cannot stand fully upright again before being taken out from behind. Nova goes low and will finally get the kill so easily just with this last clip, and then flick across to Animal to get another one with 1 HP left standing easily. Ran out of ammo as he peeked around this corner here. Or I think he might have drop shot it and ended up shooting into the armor bag, but either way, couldn't finish easily off, and easily finishes his reload to flick around and get the kills. And Strictly Business once again, they get another round, another successful attack. Slight changes here and there, slight adjustments to their back end push. Again, Onslaught came close to defending it, but not close enough.
I think they adjusted the one thing they needed to do, which was dealing with the roamer and pushing out across the map, taking more map control of that lobby side in the meeting hall. They successfully did it that time, and it really paid off in terms of being able to pinch them from both sides. As you saw Sledge finish them off from the other side that time, really paid off. I mean, it's risky to do because you're a lot less manpower coming down that tower, but you can only fit so many people down the stairs anyways. So, well played.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
So,
defused by attackers.
upstairs bomb site for the first time in this game. Coming out now of Strictly Business. They held downstairs well. This is like a whole different ball game. Reinforcements going to Armory. One reinforcement to Attic, but
Now, some
it's on the
maps,
side that normally you make the crawl hole, so they might be sealing that completely.
yeah. So, some maps I would say that this is, you know, the weaker bomb site. You don't want to necessarily choose it, but lately it's been proven to be a very good bomb site as well. Almost on parity with the basement now. So it's something, you know, we might see. It's similar to Consulate, where the basement was dominant for a while, and then the top floor started to come into interest. I think we're starting to see that with this map, so I wouldn't necessarily say Strictly Business are in a worse position, but it depends on what their defensive setup is for this.
Over, where are you off to? Sitting down in the classroom. It's an interesting position. It's
Yeah.
got Marco Polo here for Crossfire. Marco Polo takes out the drone that finds him. before moving around and going back to the staircase. Nova, though, still unspotted. Safe to hide in here.
Definitely wanting to play these roamers, which is probably smart given how Onslaught have been attacking.
Seeing and waiting in a weird corner to try and catch someone by surprise. Low and Riddle once again pushing through from the showers and the junkyard through kitchen and dining hall and getting to the front end of the site this way, making sure it's clear. But this time, because they're attacking the site upstairs, they don't have to go quite as far. Barbed wire, that breach charge, it will land nicely where he needed it to. So Riddle now has the top of that staircase safely cleared, but he's one ash charge down. Low still watching across the front end from kitchen with a very tight angle, and there is that weird spot from Nova paying off. Inside the classroom, he takes out the sledge. Capital then goes down, and another quick trade. Low will finally take down the Nova hiding in a corner from behind. But it is one consolation prize having lost two teammates. Marco Polo still inside the garage now, taking a fight through the window. They miss a lot of ammo and have to switch to a pistol. He comes inside to try and finish off the thermite and makes it count. Despite being outside, he gets back in. Riddle will down him, but then be killed off from inside. And Low is now the last man standing against 3 live players and 1 downed player inside garage. It has all gone horribly wrong once again for Onslaught. They won the first map 5-2. They needed this map to get all 3 points. And it is currently all falling apart for them.
This is definitely looking to be more strictly business's map so far. It's going to be hard.
There he comes to the man behind the B-bomb. He does
Nice.
get a good reaction on Silent Rage's head there. But as he gets flanked from behind, Marco Polo is there with enough ammo to finish Low off and get the 4th round in the books for strictly business. It started out nicely. Their roamers, or their attackers, were finding the roamers. They were cleaning nicely. But Nova in that weird spot, picking up 1 kill, catching them by so much surprise that Marco Polo was able to grab 2 more himself, and Thermite was one of them, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think them just spreading out like a net like that, just taking advantage of forcing them to look all these different directions where they couldn't like focus their force into moving upstairs. They were all trying to clear out the roamers, spread out, take control of that first floor, but the roamers clearly the ones had control over it. They barely even got towards the upstairs to get up to site. They weren't working the windows, they weren't picking up people on site. Had they worked the site, they might have actually done better than trying to fight the roamers downstairs.
I like this a little bit here from Onslaught. They have not had good success downstairs at all yet, and they have to win this one to stay alive.
Point.
So switch it up, go upstairs somewhere, get into that top floor and try something different.
That's smart. I mean, the advantage of playing downstairs, again, is they have some idea where the attack's coming from, assuming it would come from tower again. But knowing that didn't pay off last time, so this was definitely a smart choice on their part. Hopefully they have a good defensive setup and that this isn't just their fallback.
So,
They aren't bringing out anyone too different other than Pulse. I've said this a few times in the past, Pulse in Armory generally doesn't work out that well, just because he ends up trapped in there. But hopefully Animal knows how to play it smart, get the intel, try and make some picks if he can, and then get out of there.
so downstairs they are leaving themselves a Jaeger. He's in the back tower though and has access to the very, very basement. That's where the European team G-Bots like to leave Goga every time they defend this
That's
site.
true. Yeah, Bosco's been pretty good in this roam play, but not so much in Oregon as he was on Kanal. He's just not as efficient here.
So Riddle now tucked inside the B site with Doc here to keep him company. Easily on the back staircase, hidden in the barbed wire. As you mentioned, Animal inside the armory, looking for what's coming his way.
I don't know about laying in that barbed wire. If they go to Ash, you're going to have to stand up and go to run.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to Ash charge it like the, well, Onslaught did themselves.
Yeah.
That could work out horribly for you, but there is more barbed wire further down the staircase. They might Ash charge first, which would give them the awareness. Either way, we'll find out. Riddle using these holes in the floor, making more holes in the floor, checking the crawlways and the walkways underneath him. Low will pick up the first kill for the game, and it is onto that important target once again of Capital. Yes, he's a fast operator. Yes, he's got a great gun. A lot of teams use him for these opening frags, but he's still got a lot of utility that you might want to use. And well, Ava can get an opening frag like that for the attacking
Yeah, that's
team.
what you have Ash for.
Yeah, he does get the roamer down. Riddle has taken a lot of punishment here as he tries to step out from behind his little bedroom corner.
Uh-oh.
Takes another one through the wall. Gets healed up, goes to C4 outside, and takes out Blackbeard straight through the window. Very nice C4 from Riddle. Goes back inside the A site now.
Saved his own life.
Keeps Keeps himself safe and clear from inside. Now looks towards the showers and the toilets and the corridor below. Easily on this back staircase again, holding firm, but there it is. Animal taken down by Marco Polo inside.
He's got nowhere to
the
go.
armory. Nowhere to go, but no one can revive him either. So Marco Polo, while low, has got to feel a little bit okay about it. Beaver, look in the attic, waiting for a flank that way. Nova downstairs, waiting for someone to come down. And while Strictly Business have got a kill or two here or there, they don't seem to know where to go with it now. They're down to 45 seconds. The thermite charge is going off behind low. He's going to get right up against it again, and this is going to surprise anyone that's looking to push through it, and that thermite doesn't have a lot of health already. Riddle starting to head downstairs now. He's going to come up behind Nova if he's not careful. Marco Polo gets Animal. Then they're going to sprint forward. Low does get down but revives himself. It's not going to matter. Nova gets the kill and suddenly Strictly Business, from being in a very bad position, have control. Riddle from downstairs didn't get up in time and they knew he was coming from the flank. Beautiful play at the end there from Strictly Business, and a 5-0 sweep after losing the first map 5-2 means we go for a 1-point draw across the board.
Strictly Business definitely have their map here. They picked the wrong one apparently, but obviously Onslaught did as well, so that worked out for Strictly Business. As I said earlier, it's not going to make a huge difference in Strictly Business's standings, but it's got to feel good knowing that you at least cleaned up 5-0 on that second map.
Yeah,